Ladies and gentlemen, here's the motivational speech in the requested style, focusing on the theme of trust your wings. Let me know if you'd like to refine or expand any specific sections. Title: the keynote has been expanded to emphasize embracing your unique potential and trusting your inner design. Let me know if you need additional edits or refinements. Keynote 2 has been expanded as requested. Let me know if you'd like further adjustments or additions. You've been waiting too long for someone to tell you it's okay to fly. Too long waiting for a green light from people who don't even see the vision you've been carrying inside. But let me tell you something. The wings you have were not given to you by people. And they don't need the validation of people to function. You've been equipped, designed, and prepared for flight long before anyone had an opinion about you. Your wings were given by purpose, not approval. And purpose always comes with power. You don't need to ask permission to rise. The wind is already blowing. You just need to spread those wings and trust them. As the wind continues to rise, so should your faith. Oh, I know what you're thinking. I know the doubts that whisper in your mind. What if I fall? What if I'm not ready? What if my wings aren't strong enough? But let me ask you this. What if you fly? What if the very thing you've been afraid of is the doorway to the life you were meant to live? Fear has a way of paralyzing potential. It has a way of chaining you to the ground, even though you were born to soar. But fear is not your master. Fear is not your destiny. It's time to stop rehearsing the crash and start rehearsing the climb. Trust your wings. The ego doesn't second guess itself when it takes off from the cliff. It doesn't analyze the wind or debate its strength. It simply spreads its wings and lets the design of its creator do the rest. You've got a design too. You've got a purpose in your DNA, and it's been waiting for the right moment to unfold. But here's the thing about moments. They don't wait for you to feel ready. They show up, and it's up to you to seize them. The ego doesn't wait for the perfect conditions. It leaps because it knows the wind will meet it. And I'm here to tell you today, the wind is waiting for you. The opportunity is waiting for you. But you've got to move. You've got to trust. Trust doesn't mean you won't feel fear. It doesn't mean you won't hear the voices of doubt. Trust means you're willing to leap anyway. Trust means you believe in what's inside of you more than the obstacles outside of you. Trust means you're willing to give the process a chance, even if you don't fully understand it. And let me tell you something about the process. It's not always pretty. Sometimes trusting your wings means leaving the comfort of the nest. It means stepping into the unknown. It means facing winds that are stronger than anything you've ever faced before. But those winds aren't there to destroy you. They're there to lift you higher. The same wind that opposes you is the wind that carries you, if you let it. You've been looking at the obstacles, but I need you to look at the opportunity. You've been counting the risks, but I need you to count the rewards. There's a life waiting for you on the other side of your fear. There's a purpose waiting for you on the other side of your doubt. But you'll never reach it if you stay on the ground. You've got to rise. You've got to spread those wings. And here's the thing about wings. They don't work while you're standing still. They're made for movement. They're made for action. You've been waiting for a guarantee, but let me tell you something. The guarantee is in the movement. The guarantee is in the leap. The guarantee is in the trust. Some of you have been sitting in the nest for too long. You've gotten comfortable in a place that was only meant to be temporary. The nest was never meant to be your home. It was meant to be your launching pad. But you've mistaken comfort for safety. You've mistaken stillness for security. And now, the very thing that was supposed to prepare you is holding you back. It's time to let go of the nest. It's time to let go of the excuses. It's time to let go of the doubts. You don't belong in the nest. You belong in the sky. You were made to soar. You were made to rise above. But you've got to trust. Oh, I feel this so strongly for someone today. You've been questioning your potential because you've been looking at people who don't understand your design. You've been comparing your wings to theirs, not realizing that your flight path is different. Stop measuring yourself against people who were never meant to go where you're going. Stop letting the opinions of others clip your wings. They don't see what's inside of you. They don't know the storms you've survived. They don't know the strength it took for you to even get to this point. But you know what you've been through. You know the battles you've fought. You know the fire you've walked through. And if you've made it this far, don't you dare stop now. Don't you dare settle for less than what you were created for. Trust your wings. There's a reason why you've been feeling restless. There's a reason why the nest doesn't feel as comfortable as it used to. That's purpose calling you higher. That's destiny pulling you out of your comfort zone. And yes, it's scary. Yes, it's uncertain, but it's necessary. Growth is never comfortable, but it's always worth it. Transformation is never easy, but it's always necessary. You're being stretched because you're being prepared. You're being challenged because you're being strengthened. The struggle you're feeling is not a sign of weakness. It's a sign of growth. It's a sign that you're getting ready to fly. Trust the process. Trust your wings. Trust your mission. I know you've had setbacks. I know you've faced failures. But let me tell you something about failure. It's not the end of the story. Failure is just feedback. It's just a lesson. It's just a stepping stone. Every time you fall, you learn something new about your wings. Every time you stumble, you discover a new strength. Don't let failure define you. Don't let it ground you. Use it. Grow from it, rise above it. The greatest flights often come after the greatest falls. The key is not to stay down. The key is to get back up, to spread those wings again, to trust again. Trust. And let me tell you something about trust. It's not a one-time decision. It's a daily choice. Every day you've got to choose to believe in what's inside of you. Every day you've got to choose to rise above the doubts, the fears, and the noise. Every day you've got to choose to spread those wings, even when it feels risky. Trust is a discipline. Trust is a mindset. And trust is the key to unlocking your destiny. You've been holding back because you're afraid of the unknown, but let me tell you something. The unknown is where the magic happens. The unknown is where transformation takes place. The unknown is where you discover who you really are. Stop fearing the unknown and start embracing it. Stop running from the uncertainty and start running toward it. The very thing you're afraid of is the thing that will set you free. The very thing you're avoiding is the thing that will elevate you. Trust your wings. Fear has a way of whispering lies into your heart. It tells you that you're not ready, that you're not capable, that the risk is too great. But fear doesn't know your potential. Fear only sees the surface. It doesn't see the depth of what's inside you. Fear doesn't understand that you were built for this. And the truth is, the unknown isn't as terrifying as fear makes it out to be. The unknown is simply, it seems, the one fit only, or the one set only for this situation. It seems the expanded content you're requesting may already match the expanded content you're requesting. Let me know how you'd like to proceed. Trust in your inner strength. This is where everything begins. The first step towards realizing your full potential is understanding that you have within you the ability to soar. Many people go through life not fully recognizing the immense power they possess. They look outside themselves for validation, for confirmation, for someone else to tell them they are capable. And in doing so, they neglect the most powerful resource available to them, themselves. When you trust in your inner strength, you are tapping into a wellspring of limitless possibilities. But it's important to understand what this means and how you can apply it to your life. Your wings are not just a metaphor. They are real. The dreams, visions, and desires that stir your heart are a reflection of what is already within you. When you feel a yearning to achieve something greater, something beyond your current circumstances, that is the stirring of your wings. They are a part of you, waiting to be unfurled. But far too often, we find ourselves questioning whether we have the capacity to fly. We wonder if we are strong enough, brave enough, or worthy enough to make our dreams a reality. These doubts, these fears are the very things that prevent us from trusting our wings. The truth is, you already have everything you need within you. Your wings were designed for you. They are made for the journey ahead. But you can't see that if you're constantly second-guessing yourself. You can't soar if you're afraid to take off. The challenge is not in discovering what you're capable of. It's in learning to trust that what you've already been given is enough. The process of trusting your inner strength begins with acknowledging that you are enough just as you are. You don't have to become someone else or wait until you feel more ready. You are already equipped. Trusting your wings means recognizing that your unique gifts, experiences, and abilities are exactly what you need to move forward. It doesn't matter how the world sees you or how others try to define you. Your strength comes from within, and it's limitless when you choose to believe in it. You've probably experienced moments in life where you were pushed to your limits, where you faced challenges that seemed insurmountable. These moments often bring out the best in us, not because we have extraordinary abilities, but because we are forced to tap into something deep within us that we didn't even know was there. It's in these times that we realize the extent of our own strength, the depth of our own resilience. You've been through storms before and you survived. You may have stumbled, you may have fallen, but you got back up. Every time you rise, you demonstrate the power of your wings. You prove to yourself that you are capable. You prove that you have the strength to face whatever comes your way. Let go of external validation. This is a concept that can be difficult to grasp, especially in a world where we are constantly seeking approval from others. From the moment we are born, we are conditioned to look outside ourselves for validation. Whether it's from our parents, teachers, friends, or even social media followers, we are taught to seek affirmation that we are worthy, capable, and successful. But the truth is, when you rely on external validation to determine your worth, you give away your power. You allow others to define who you are, and in doing so, you limit yourself. True strength comes from within. You must learn to trust yourself, to validate your own worth, and to believe in your own potential without needing anyone else's approval. When you are constantly seeking validation from others, you are placing your happiness and your confidence in their hands. You are allowing their opinions and judgments to dictate your self-worth. If they approve of you, you feel good about yourself. If they criticize you, you feel small, discouraged, and defeated. This cycle is exhausting and unhealthy. It traps you in a constant need for affirmation and keeps you from stepping into your full potential. When you let go of the need for external validation, you take back control of your life. You empower yourself to live according to your own values, your own vision, and your own desires. The problem with seeking validation from others is that it can never truly satisfy you. No matter how much praise or recognition you receive, it will always feel temporary. External validation is fleeting, and it is dependent on the opinions of others, which are constantly changing. One day, someone may praise you for your accomplishments, and the next, they may criticize you for the same things. This inconsistency can leave you feeling unsteady, unsure of yourself, and constantly striving for more approval. But when you rely on your own validation, you create a sense of inner peace and confidence that is not easily shaken by the opinions of others. You learn to trust your own judgment, to value your own worth, and to stand firm in who you are, regardless of what anyone else thinks. This doesn't mean that you should ignore the feedback of others altogether. Constructive criticism can be valuable, and it's important to be open to learning and growing. But the key is to not let the opinions of others define you. Take in feedback, but don't let it dictate your sense of self-worth. Trust your own instincts, your own vision, and your own values. When you learn to validate yourself, you stop seeking constant affirmation from the outside world and begin to trust the power that lies within you. The journey to self-control begins with accepting yourself just as you are. It means embracing both your strengths and your weaknesses, your successes and your failures. You don't have to be perfect, and you don't have to meet anyone else's expectations. You are worthy simply because you exist. This is a hard truth to accept, especially when society places so much emphasis on external achievements and accolades. But the truth is, your worth is not defined by what you do or what others think of you. It is intrinsic, built into your very being. You are enough as you are, and you don't need anyone else's approval to validate that. When you let go of the need for external validation, you free yourself from the chains of comparison. You stop looking around at what others are doing and measuring your own success based on theirs. Comparison is a trap that keeps you stuck in a cycle of inadequacy. You begin to think that you're not good enough because someone else seems to be doing better. You start to believe that your dreams are unrealistic because someone else has already achieved them. But when you stop seeking external validation, you free yourself from this toxic cycle. You begin to focus on your own journey, your own progress, and your own growth. You realize that your path is unique to you and your success is not dependent on anyone else's achievements. Letting go of external validation also means letting go of fear of judgment, fear of failure, fear of not being good enough. When you seek approval from others, you live in constant fear of what they will think of you. You are afraid to take risks, to step out of your comfort zone, or to pursue your dreams because you fear that others will criticize you or think less of you. But when you stop seeking validation, that fear loses its power. You are no longer paralyzed by the opinions of others. You are free to take bold steps, to make mistakes and to learn from them without worrying about how you will be perceived. You trust that your worth is not determined by how others view you, but by how you view yourself. Another crucial aspect of letting go of external validation is learning to trust your own vision. When you rely on others for validation, you allow their vision to overshadow your own. You begin to live your life according to their expectations, not your own desires. You put your energy into seeking approval rather than focusing on what you truly want to achieve. But when you let go of the need for validation, you reclaim your power. You begin to trust your own vision for your life, even if it's different from what others expect of you. You embrace your unique path, knowing that it is your life to live, not anyone else's. This is where the power of self-constitution comes into play. Confidence is not about having all the answers or being perfect. It's about believing in yourself, trusting that you have the strength, the ability, and the resources to create the life you desire. Confidence is about knowing that you are enough, just as you are, and that you don't need anyone else's approval to pursue your dreams. Confidence is a quiet, unshakable belief in your own potential. It's knowing that you can handle whatever challenges come your way and that you are worthy of the success and happiness you desire. When you validate yourself, you give yourself permission to pursue your dreams unapologetically. You stop waiting for someone else to tell you that you're good enough, that your ideas are worth pursuing, or that your vision is achievable. You stop asking for permission to be great, to be successful, to be happy. You recognize that you don't need anyone's approval to take action, to move forward, and to create the life you want. If your validation comes from within, and that is where true power lies. Letting go of external validation is a process, one that takes time and practice. It requires you to confront your fears, your insecurities, and the limiting beliefs that have been ingrained in you over the years. But the more you practice self-direction, the stronger you become. The stronger you become, the more you learn to trust yourself, the less you rely on the opinions of others. And in doing so, you step into your full potential, unencumbered by the need for external approval. I recommend that you become a leader. You become the creator of your own destiny. And the only validation you need is the one that comes from within. Trust the journey and take the first step. This is one of the most powerful, yet often overlooked aspects of realizing your dreams and stepping into your purpose. Too many people get caught in the trap of waiting for the perfect moment, the ideal conditions, or the absolute certainty that everything will work out before they begin. They wait for the fear to dissipate, for the obstacles to disappear, or for all the stars to align before they take that first leap. But the reality is the perfect moment rarely comes. If you wait for everything to be exactly right, you might find yourself waiting forever. The truth is that the journey will never be perfect, and the conditions will never be perfect. But you have to trust that every step you take will lead you closer to where you're meant to be. Taking the first step is often the hardest, especially when you don't have all the answers. It can feel overwhelming to move forward when you're unsure of what lies ahead. The unknown is daunting, and the fear of failure can be paralyzing. But this is where trust comes in. Trusting the journey means believing that even though you can't see the entire path laid out in front of you, you can take the first step anyway. Trusting that the next step will be revealed when you're ready to take it. Trusting that with each small move forward, you will gather the wisdom and the strength you need to navigate the path ahead. And most importantly, trusting that the journey itself is just as important as the destination. When you trust the journey, you release the need for complete control. You accept that there are going to be twists and turns, bumps in the road, and moments of uncertainty. But instead of being discouraged by them, you embrace them as part of the process. Every challenge you face along the way is an opportunity to learn, grow, and become stronger. It's easy to think that the journey should be smooth, that you should have all the answers from the start. But the truth is, the struggle is what shapes you. It's the difficult moments that reveal your true character, your resilience, and your ability to persevere. You can't skip these moments, and you wouldn't want to. These moments are the very thing that prepares you for the success and the fulfillment that lie ahead. Trusting the journey also means understanding that timing is everything. We live in a world that tells us we need to move fast, achieve success quickly, and get things done now. But the truth is, not everything happens on your timeline. And that's okay. There's a natural rhythm to life that unfolds at its own pace. Trusting the journey means allowing things to unfold as they are meant to, without rushing or forcing the process. It means understanding that everything you experience along the way is preparing you for what comes next. Every lesson, every person you meet, every setback, and every triumph are all part of the bigger picture that is being painted. When you trust the journey, you learn to be patient with yourself, knowing that every step you take is part of your personal growth and your path to fulfillment. Taking the first step can be scary, But it's important to remember that you don't have to have everything figured out in advance. You don't need to have the entire blueprint of your life mapped out before you start. In fact, trying to do so can be limiting because it traps you in a box of your own design, one that doesn't allow for flexibility or growth. The first step is often the most important because it sets everything else in motion. Once you take that first step, you begin to build momentum. The path becomes clearer, the obstacles more manageable, and your confidence grows with each small victory. You learn to trust yourself more, and you realize that you are capable of handling whatever challenges come your way. When you take the first step, you also begin to let go of the need for perfection. Perfectionism can be one of the biggest barriers to progress. We often get so caught up in trying to do things perfectly that we never take action at all. We're afraid that if we make a mistake, we'll look foolish or fail. But here's the truth: perfection is an illusion. There's no such thing as the perfect time, the perfect plan, or the perfect execution. The only thing you can do is start. And from there, you adjust, you learn, and you grow. Taking the first step means committing to the journey, imperfections and all, and trusting that the process will unfold as it's meant to.